So Lyman Briggs College, just in case there is anybody who doesn't know, we're MSU's residential undergraduate STEM college. And our mission really focuses on scholarly educational practice. And what that means is that many of our faculty, no matter what their discipline, actually do all or part of their research on some aspect of STEM education research, broadly construed. So our faculty are half in the history, philosophy, and sociology of science area, and about half are in various STEM disciplines. And no matter which half they're from, they're nowadays almost equally likely to be doing some sort of STEM education research, pretty much all focused on college level though, not so much on K through 12. And our faculty each have joint appointments in some of the doctoral granting colleges, including our partners here. We have many joint appointments with the College of Natural Science. We now have our first with the College of Engineering, and we have been looking into possibilities for joint appointments with the College of Education. And these joint appointments really are very important for leading to collaboration. In Briggs, since everybody, no matter what their discipline is, we're all in the same building together, it's easy to do interdisciplinary things, but we only have a relatively small faculty. So having connections in all the other colleges then makes it possible to get involved in larger projects. And speaking of larger projects, I wanted to mention a couple of those that the STEM Alliance has been involved in the last few years. There's, of course, the AAU STEM initiative led by Melanie Cooper, and many faculty from Briggs and also the other partner colleges are AAU faculty fellows right now working on specific projects. There's the Howard Hughes Medical Institute effort where SACR is the PI, and other co-PIs from the other colleges, and that's working on various specific kinds of STEM ed reform projects, again, really at the university level. And more recently, there is the Dow STEM Scholars Program, where, let's see, Saker and I and Mark and Chris Wren, who's probably still in the room somewhere, yep, are the co-PIs, and Robin Rennie, who's right there, is the director of the program, and that's working on one of the projects alluded to earlier about making sure that students who come in the least prepared in mathematics, but who want to do STEM majors, get every chance to actually be able to succeed at that and really try to get them on track and give them a good cohort experience. So Briggs is part of all these things, the director of the Science and Society at State, which you heard about a little bit earlier. Georgina Montgomery, I think, is somewhere in the room. Yep, she's Briggs. And just go Briggs. But the thing that I wanted to mention also is that many of our faculty have individual research programs in STEM education research or are part of interdisciplinary efforts across different colleges. For example, Rob Pennick and Jim Smith, just to give a couple of examples, do evolution education research strongly connected with the Beacon Center, which is a strongly interdisciplinary and multi-college effort. There's the BRAID project led by Ryan Sweeter and Doug Lucky and Rich Bellin that's specifically about how doing true interdisciplinary teaching actually benefits science students and helps them understand what science and technology are actually all about and their societal purpose. There's work on introducing active learning, including actually gathering and analyzing your own data in the context of very large introductory statistics courses that A.K. Zaliki and Hung Wang are involved in, again with others from their joint appointment department of probability and statistics. There is work that Georgina has been doing on team-based learning in the history of science, which sounds sort of extraordinary, but that's taking some things that we do in STEM courses quite naturally and seeing how that impacts student learning in other contexts. And then there's a big team cross-college effort led by Kevin Elliott, Georgina Montgomery, Kendra Charavello, Isis Settles, not Briggs, but a member of the team, and there's a couple more team members who've joined since I last looked at the website. They're looking at the intersection of inclusive practice and ethical behavior in teams, in the classroom and beyond. And so those are just a few examples of the very diverse kinds of STEM education research that our college is engaged in. As you can see, it's really central to our mission. We're all involved in it one way or the other. And so anybody with a Briggs tag on today will be glad to talk with you about whatever you're doing, and you'll probably find a way to collaborate. I'm going to change gears now and talk about the ACF. The partners in crime have already been introduced. So 6 people, we got a committee of 6 people to actually meet multiple times and to write a proposal. And so we applied a year ago now to the Office of the Vice President for Research and Graduate Studies for a set of positions in STEM education research. And we argued that MSU has seen some great benefits in recent years by adding national level leaders like Joe Krajcik and Melanie Cooper, who could really nucleate research efforts that weren't just about their own stuff, but were more broadly construed and brought other people into research and collaboration. And so we argued that adding a couple more leader-level people in this area could really do a lot for all of the work that we want to do, bring us together more effectively. And of course, it was important to emphasize in an ACF proposal, generate more grants, right? Because that was certainly part of the rules. And the Vice President for Research and Graduate Studies and the Provost agreed, and they decided to fund 2 senior hires immediately. And so the good news is that the searches are being launched this year. And the 4 deans met just a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And amazing, we actually all managed to get in the same room together. And we decided to structure this as 2 different searches, one focusing on math education research, where natural science would take the lead in running the search, and one in STEM education research, more broadly construed, where education will take the lead in organizing the search. In each case, it's likely that the majority appointment of whomever we hire will be in the college that's organizing the search, and it's likely that there could be, for example, a joint appointment, minority appointment in Lyman Briggs, for instance. But we're also going to wait and see who we end up trying to hire and what kind of appointment would make the most sense for them, because we want to be able to attract these people. They will be run as open rank searches to diversify the pool as much as possible. The recent experience of natural science and of education trying to hire only at the full professor level shows there's a small pool out there. People don't necessarily want to move across the country to a new place at that point in their career. So we want to have, it'll be an open rank search to increase the probability of success. But there is support if we're able to find full professor level senior people. And finally, I should mention that the focus of these positions will be on research that really is related to college level STEM education, because we have the greatest strength already, a lot of it through the College of Education, in K-12 research, and we'd like to complement that. However, that being said, candidates who also have an interest in creating ties to K-12 research or in translation of research results into the classroom, that will definitely be viewed as a bonus and something very positive. So we're looking forward to getting going on those searches, and we hope to have something more definite to report in due course, like candidates coming to campus, and then hopefully you'll all come out to hear them speak and give us input. So I guess I should. So right. So the last part of my charge, which is not on here, is thank you very much for coming. And now the really important part begins, where you go back to the room with the refreshments and you talk to each other. And we're here if you, the speakers are here if you have questions. But please go enjoy and talk and have a great time. Thank you.